All right. Peace and blessings, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the STEM Files, the voice of STEM talent in Black culture. On tonight's episode, I chat with power couple and technology entrepreneurs, Cameron and Jamila Hairston, and we're going to learn a bit more about how they change lives through technology. Tune in for more of this dynamic episode after this. All right. Again, family, welcome back. You know what it is, high energy all the time. I need y'all to get in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and share. We are the STEM Files, where we highlight the best and brightest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics every Thursday and Saturday at 6 p.m. live on Facebook at the STEM Files, live also on YouTube at the STEM Files. Make sure to subscribe and share our content, and also follow us on Instagram as well at the STEM Files. I am your humble co-host, Jabril Muhammad. I am a mechanical engineer focused on naval ship fluid systems with a background in material science and engineering, typically joined by my illustrious co-host, Tariq Cardiac or Tariq Muhammad, a biomedical research scientist with a background in cardiovascular pathobiology, which is the study of how diseases form in the major organs and other tissues. Without further ado, family, we're going to get right into it because, as you always know, the show is not about us. I can talk all day. It's about who we bring on the show. So I would like to introduce to some, but present to all, our wonderful couple this evening in technology, Mr. and Mrs. Hairston. How are you guys doing this evening?
Doing great. How are you doing, Jabril?
Yes, we're doing well.
I'm doing well.
Good,
I'm doing well. I think I had a tad too much coffee. I came in a little too hot.
It's all right.
No, that's good. We need it.
We need it.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is, we're going to just have you all do a brief introduction. Tell us a bit about yourself and help us frame the rest of tonight's conversation.
Absolutely. So my name is Cameron Hairston, co-founder of Cloud Tech Academy, where we focus on enterprise software training, professional development, and even leadership training. We work with a lot of different organizations globally. We have a headquarters here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we also have locations in West Africa.
Absolutely. I'm Jamila Hairston, co-founder as well, and definitely very excited to be here. Everything that he just said, we are just here to help our people, help everyone grow, help everyone learn, and help everyone get to this money. And that
get to the money, please.
Listen, absolutely. We got to get to this money. It's so crazy. I was reading your bio. So my wife's from Atlanta, so my in-laws are down there. Shout out to the A. I'm from Philly, so up north and everything. That's where I am right now. I would be remiss, though, if before we go further, I did not congratulate and give a special shout out, because we're talking about couples, to my partner Tariq's wife, Sister Kiera Muhammad, for graduating with her Bachelor's of Science in Integrative Studies. She's on a doctor track. Her and Tariq are pursuing, are growing to be doctors. So she graduated today. So definitely congrats to her. And may God continue to bless her in her endeavors. So like you said, just like that, we're going to get right into it. So, when you have several brands, you've talked about technology and really trying to have an impact. Yes. Today's society is a lot about value for value, right? So not necessarily having to go to college to be successful, not necessarily having to do the quote unquote traditional routes to be successful. So can you speak about the value in technology, particularly the digital space, and how that makes someone valuable in the workspace, whether they're working for someone or in business for themselves?
Okay, that's a great question. And I must say, first of all, technology is in every industry. Name one industry that technology is not into.
Absolutely.
And so what we realize is you have to have the skills. And, of course, the colleges, that's great. I think it's an awesome opportunity to go to college. I went to college. I actually have my master's as well. But what I realized is once I actually got into the workforce, all they cared about is what skills do you have? Do you have a background in certification? Do you have, what is your experience? That's what they wanted to know. And so that's what we realized is, okay, we have to do something to try to change this gap, because we realize this is a big gap when it comes to Black people in tech, especially women as well. And so, of course, there's a lot of opportunities around tech, even in your business. As you notice with everything with COVID, everything is changing. Everything is going online. And so it's not about if you need to learn tech, you need to learn tech. There's no question about it. You have to know it. There's no way you're going to basically be left behind if you don't.
Absolutely.
Right. And just to kind of add to that, she said a lot, but here's the thing, we're fighting an uphill battle in terms of having our people understand that there are opportunities that will allow our people to get into technology without having to code, without having to do a lot of things that are very popular. And so we like to start right off and let people know you don't have to code to be a part of the technology ecosystem. You can get the right skills. You can become an engineer. Now, you will learn a lot of scripting and things later that will add value to you. But if you get the right skills now, you can be a part of this overwhelmingly popular cloud technology ecosystem that is taking over and providing so many jobs globally.
That's right.
That's wonderful. I want to go to an old adage. I'm paraphrasing. So it goes like, give a man a fish, he eats for a day.
Right.
Teach a man to fish, he eats for forever. Right. Now, I think that last part I got a little bit wrong. But can you talk about how you all use Cloud Tech Academy as well as your other brands to teach men and women to fish rather than just giving them that fish at any moment in time?
Absolutely. So I'll kind of start with that. So the first step is we like to sit down with people as individuals. We don't care about your background. We like to understand what you've been doing. Our number one group of folks that we get that come to our academy are people that have non-technology backgrounds. And so we like blank canvases. We like empty cups. We love to fill people up with this information. And typically because of that, they can go out and perform at a very high level because they don't have any preconceptions or misconceptions around technology, and they're just open to having a better life. And so that has worked very well for us in making sure that, number one, there's always something you've been doing that can relate to technology, right? You maybe you can't see it, but we're here to help you see it, right? If you've been working with processes, if you've been working with systems, but yes, you're not necessarily a technical resource yet, but maybe you've worked with these applications, maybe you work with them pretty heavy. And so we show you the back end of it. We show you how to implement it. We show you how to develop with it.
Right. And just to add to that, I mean, we don't just train on just a bunch of PowerPoints, say, okay, this is a nice to have, nice to know. We actually, like you said, we put you inside, we immerse you into technology. That way you see exactly what you're going to be doing every day. And so not only do we do that, we help you with the interview process as well. Right. So like you said, teaching them how to fish for a lifetime. These are skills that you can use for the rest of your life.
Right.
And so that's why it's very important that we show you exactly what you're going to be learning and what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. We also teach you how to learn. So that's the other thing. Critical thinking skills. And so we help you with that as well. So that's very important, especially just to be able to, continue to keep your job opportunities. So and critical thinking is the number one skill in technology, period.
Yes.
And and deductive reasoning is next. And so at the beginning of all our trainings, we make sure we go through this stuff. We make sure you know how to read between the lines. You know how to add stuff up based on the evidence, based on the information given, so that you can begin to solve problems and think about creating solutions for other people's problems.
Right.
That's a different mindset. We're very particular about training on that, mainly because we're also engineers. We're not teachers. We're engineers who love to help people.
Right.
That's what makes us different. Like you said, we're not giving people PowerPoints and all of that stuff. We are actual engineers. Right. And so it just makes a difference because we've been in every single role from leadership, VP level, CTO level, down to, just a cloud engineer. And so we've had these roles, and we know that when people learn from actual practitioners, it's a different thing. Absolutely. And so among ourselves and our other trainers are also practitioners.
Right. And we also teach you how to add value to the corporation as well. So that's the other thing too. We teach you how to go in and look for solutions, look for ways to help the company. And so that's important. Right. And so by doing that, we also, help them create a project within our training environment as well. And so you actually get a real project that you can actually take with you. So.
Yes. And I'm your hardest critic, so I press everybody hard.
Absolutely, as you should. Family, we are not 10 minutes in. And if y'all are not soaking in this value, we're talking about teaching people how to learn. We're talking about the first, if you want to call it a soft skill in engineering or anything, is how to think critically. You would think it's problem solving, but in order to solve a problem, you have to be a problem finder. And you're not a problem finder if you're not a critical thinker. One of the things that, I was thinking about as you were talking is people think of technology as hardware, software.
Yeah.
Right.
But technology is also just methodology.
Process.
So if I am reading a book, and there's a methodology to read quickly. There's a methodology to do math problems more quickly. There's different ways to solve math, but that's technology. So when you talk about dealing with people at any age range and teaching them something or imparting them some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, what you refer back to is what is the technology that I can use, the methodology that I can use to be able to learn technology in the form of hardware, software, and different things. So that was awesome. I love that point. Yes. Family, make sure y'all dropping comments, questions in the comment field. If you're not liking or sharing the content, I don't know what you're doing right now. Y'all just not with me. Yeah. At the STEM Files, we like to reduce things to its lowest terms, make sure we're teaching as well. Can you unpack what is the cloud? Cloud Tech Academy. So what is cloud for those of us who may not be either so technically inclined or in the IT tech sphere?
So let me say this. I'll say what the cloud is not. It's not in the sky. A lot of people think, oh, the cloud is in the sky.
Right.
So go ahead, Cam. I know you want to.
Yeah. So in its most simplistic form, it's data centers that are located around the world that have tons and tons of computers inside of them, right? And people can access their data from the one closest to them so that they get it to them at the fastest way possible. And so these are just huge buildings that host tons of data for companies globally. And usually companies route their data from the closest location. And so in the most simplistic form, cloud technology has saved business, mainly because they're able to grow, they're able to scale, they're able to do things they never could before. And if we remember, for some of us that are a little, well, I'll speak for myself, a little older, not too old, but a little.
Definitely for yourself.
Just for myself? Okay. So
hey, there it is.
Right. So back during 9/11, right, when those buildings went down, 90% of the businesses went out of business because they did not have a cloud option, right? And so they hosted all their data in-house in the building, their physical servers. Now, the two companies, and I can't remember the name, but two of the companies that were able to make it through this process had a copy of their data in a location in New Jersey. And so they were able to run their backups and get back up to business the following week. Whereas the ones that had all their data in this one location completely failed. And so from that point on, people took that as a great example for them to think about how to have a disaster recovery plan. If your building burns down, you need to have a copy of your data somewhere else. And so when organizations kind of saw that, they really went proactive on solving this solution. Some of them created private clouds, and then of course Microsoft, AWS, and even Google devised a plan for people to be able to manage their data globally and be able to access it at any point and make copies and allow them the ability to scale super fast.
Right. And just to think about that, I mean, the main thing, like you said, being able to scale, being able to have the flexibility, being able to access your data from any type of hardware, software, however you want on your phones. It just allows more flexibility, allow people to work from home now. How great is that? Especially with everything going on right now. Right. So the cloud is allowing so many more opportunities, so many more job openings. It's just a great thing, and it's allowing companies to save a lot of money.
It's allowing us to be on this interview.
Exactly.
Right. We're able to give value remotely, and I can't touch. I would love to be there with you guys. Honestly, the energy is infectious. I'd love to be there with you, but obviously we can't right now, right? So absolutely.
Right. Just think about like Netflix. I mean, all the movies in the cloud that you can watch 24/7
instantly.
You don't have to go to Blockbusters anymore and go and rent a tape or VHS.
You don't have to wait for the mail to come for your DVD.
Right. It's just right there instantly. So the cloud is definitely not going anywhere. It's actually going to increase. So even more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I got a couple comments in the chat. I got a question from my co-host, Tariq Muhammad. So I'm going to get to that in a second. Marisi Muhammad said blockchain ! And that brings up my next question. So a few things come to mind. That you're in the tech industry, you're working as tech entrepreneurs. What are the top 3 to 5 technologies that you both have your eyes on and that emerging STEM enthusiasts or leaders should have their focus on? I have a few in my mind, but I want to see if we match up.
Oh, that's a good one.
So number one, I will start with, if we're looking for service first, I mean, I have to say just the cloud. Number one, because of the job opportunities, because of all the applications that kind of run on it. Now, from an application perspective and technology perspective, we have to talk about AI. We have to talk about
I was
blockchain.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
Definitely that. And
Yeah.
SaaS, all of that.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, blockchain is becoming very huge because of the ability to share, share the security, right? And have a lot more autonomy for building certain types of applications, especially on the banking side. So when we talk about, connecting the dots with banks around the world, they need that type of shared support and technology through that blockchain kind of gives them. And I see a lot of blockchain solutions for especially for financial applications and any type of bank or anybody that's kind of dealing with money. They're using that pretty heavy, and we're looking at blockchain to solve a lot more problems.
I love that. So in my mind, I was thinking big data or data acquisition and storage. I was thinking energy, alternative energy. I was thinking hydroelectric. I was thinking solar, wind. I was thinking blockchain. I was thinking AI. I want to talk to you guys as business owners because I don't know if you ever heard, but I had the privilege of being a part of the second annual STEM Success Summit sponsored by STEM Media this past a few weeks ago. Yeah. And I don't know if you've heard Idris Sandu. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like if you're in tech and don't know who he is, and I'm recently know who he is. So he was one of the keynote speakers. And if you ever heard this brother speak, I love him because he always says he's hip hop. And when you hear him talk in very high level vernacular and nomenclature, it comes off so colloquial, like he's just having a regular conversation. But one of the things he was really discussing, I thought it was really profound. He talked about ownership and he talked about collaboration.
Yes.
In the Black community, we're always looking for like Black owned things. So like we got the Black owned Uno, we got the Black owned this, you got this app. But in you all's opinion, how much should we as a people be focused on technological assimilation as opposed to technological invention and innovation, creating something new and then owning that which we create?
That's
a good question.
Listen.
Oh my gosh.
How can we own it if we don't own the infrastructure?
Yeah.
Right? We don't own data centers. We're building on top of somebody else's value that they brought to the market. Until we control our own global network, listen, there is no ownership. It doesn't exist. It's really more about who can create something that's going to help people solve problems, right? But as far as like clear ownership and say software and technology, it becomes very hard, because of this, because we don't own the infrastructure that it operates on. And so we have to think about that. And we have to think about groups that, I work with some groups in Africa that are looking to build some data centers. And so that's very interesting because now you actually control the narrative. If Microsoft decides one day, hey, I don't like what you're doing, we're going to shut you down. You're shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've seen this on so many different levels. So if we don't own that part, the best thing for us to do is to understand where we stand in the technology ecosystem, right? I see so many of us as entrepreneurs that, we're really excited about creating our own application, but we never look at the percentage of Black entrepreneurs that actually get funded.
Come on.
Right? So you show me 10 that got 100 million. You show me 20 that got 100 million. I can show you 1 million of that, our counterparts that got 100 million. Right? So we have to think about this. Now, the companies that are getting, that people are investing in, right? Number one, they are no longer owners. They are workers again. And so now you are working for 50% or 49% of your company for maybe a $5 million investment. Maybe it is a super idea, which is super great. But what they ultimately know is, hey, this is the amount of market share we can get for this money. Is this something that is going to truly touch every single human being? So the applications like that, we have right here in Atlanta, the gentleman that created, the calendar?
Calendly.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Everybody pretty much uses calendar.
Yeah, to book meetings, so on and so forth. Yeah. And so that's a really great application that really solved a lot of problems.
Yes.
There are other calendar applications, but people really like how it worked and integrated super easy, right? But when we talk about these other applications, how are we going to get national buy-in if we don't get the proper investment? And if the investment you're taking, you're losing 50% of your company. How can you ever really win? And so, you know, when I go to these conferences and when I talk to these young founders of these startups, my thing is this: if you get into cloud technology, if you get into one of these technology roles, you can actually self-finance your own application and never have to ask for anything.
That's true.
So become the bank. Become the bank.
You know, we became our own bank. We haven't taken any money, and we're a global company. And so I want to encourage the rest of us to understand that if you have a high value skill, honestly, they can't afford to be as racist.
Ooh, say that again. Say that again for the people in the back.
Yes. If you have a high value skill, they cannot afford to be as racist.
And this is why you say tech is the great equalizer.
It's the great equalizer, right? If you have the knowledge and you can apply that knowledge, then you're going to get an opportunity. And there could be 100 people that say they do something, but when it's time to actually get it done, when you have the actual skill to do it, then somebody's going to see that value. Right. And this is why we only focus on things that have high value skills, you know. And we encourage people to start their own business. Many of our students have started their own business after they have had multiple six-figure roles. They've been able to save up their own money, you know, and we've even partnered with them. We have some other businesses that we have on the side that we've partnered with some of our students because now they have cash flow. So we're really about positioning our people and making sure they understand that, you know, when you talk about six figures, it doesn't, you know, people automatically assume it's just 100,000. You know, we have students that are making 300, 400,000.
Right.
So yeah, so it's not just the 100,000 level, you know, but hey, we got to get there first.
Absolutely.
A lot of good things.
I love what you said. And pardon me, I forgot you all were also a part of the summit. Tariq reminded because we were both mentors. So like with Original Man Scientific, we were a part of this. I was like, wait, he told me so they were at the summit too. I said, my bad. That was a great point. I love what you said. And I love how you said as racist.
Yes.
Because the racism is always going to find a way to still to not give you your just due. And you have to end up forcing it. That's why knowledge, wisdom, understanding, that's why high level execution and being about what you say you're about is so key. I had another, so talking about the six figures as well, you know, I follow Brother Ben X, and one of the things that he talks about is not looking at passive income, but passive impact. Yes. And he reorients the mindset as it pertains to making money. A lot of people, initially when you talk about making money, you say, okay, there's X amount of hours in the day. I work this many hours for this much pay. And I can work more hours, get more pay, but there's only 24 hours in the day.
Right.
But if I tie my money making to a product or service and they can reach X amount of people, which is give or take a few million, limitless, then now I have a much higher ceiling on what it is that I'm talking about. So I wanted you all to kind of unpack a bit. What are the different areas or focuses of the brand Cloud Tech Academy? Like, what are the different things you train individuals in? How young do you start? And also, what have been some challenges as, you know, a couple in business, a couple in technology that you've had to overcome?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, which one should I start with? So basically, we train on different cloud technology. So we train on AWS, pretty much all of them. AWS, Salesforce, Office 365, Google Cloud, ServiceNow, you name it. All the ones that make the high dollar, we focus on those. And so, gotcha. So I'll say that. And as far as the age, as young as 18, and as old, I think the oldest student we had might have been what, 60. So that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That's a big range.
And they got a job.
A high-paying job.
Yeah.
We got a couple of them that did.
Yes.
So in the 60s. And so once again, you know, a lot of people use this as another career to, not necessarily a career, but another way to enter the career workforce. And so instead of maybe some decide they may not be, college may not be for them. So they decide to go ahead and jump in right into the career. And then some go back and get their training in school later. So there's a couple ways that you can do it. And
the main thing is we have so many students that are coming to us from college, right? But they have a lot of debt. And so here's one of the biggest problems. People have found out that, when they go to college, they get this debt. They've spent either 4 to 6 years, depending on we get a lot of master's students that come to our course. And so they have this tremendous debt. And, when we talk about our problem is, they want us to save their life after they've invested 6 years at a college that gave them nothing.
Come on.
Right. And that's that's the real reality of what we're doing. We're African American, right? And
are we really?
Yeah, yes, we are. We're African American, and so we're doing we're kind of disrupting a bit. Yeah. And I know it's hard for people to fathom that you can get the right skills and go make money, but we're fighting an uphill battle, right?
Well, I think the biggest battle is the time frame. We're telling people that, hey, you can go make 6 figures in as little as 60 to 90 days. That is just what is this? Like, wait a minute, what type of scam is this? I'm like, are y'all serious? These are training skills that you need anyway, and that these companies need. And so this is why they're willing to pay you the money, because there's just not enough talent. Yeah, that's the biggest issue. Yeah, and so I would say that, and then also getting people to believe that they even deserve 6 figures.
Ooh, that's the biggest.
Our people, especially, we think.
Come on.
I don't know. Can I really get that, or I got to work my way up? You don't have to work your way up. Well, as long as you have this skill.
Other people don't.
Yeah.
Other people don't. Like.
Thank you.
We show people how to bring value to the hour.
Exactly.
Right. When you walk in the door with new value, and you're not just going in answering questions like, yes, I can click here, yes, I can click there. You're going to know how to ask questions to the actual hiring manager. You're going to know how to ask them, hey, tell me about the last 6 months. What are the expectations for the next 6 months? What type of team will I be working with? What type of problems are you running into? Yeah. And once they, it goes on and on and on.
And then also, we also teach you how to work with the stakeholders. That's the biggest issue. That's the reason why there's, other roles that are created just to work with the stakeholders, because a lot of IT people just don't know what questions to ask or, how to work with them. So we teach you that part as well, exactly what to ask, what type of problems that you may run across, things like that, to really help you. So
yeah, I love what you just said. I love knowing the question to ask. So I'm gonna get a little transparent. So I'm an engineer, background in material science, currently work as a mechanical engineer. I am a in-service engineering agent for a particular naval fluid system. So I deal with port engineers, I deal with ship's force, I deal with senior level engineers, people in the finance, procurement, a lot of different things. I'm 27 years old as well, right? So when you come in, coming in, right, I'm dealing with technologists, techs that have been in this thing 30, 40 years, 60, 50, 70 years old, senior level subject matter experts. And one of the things that always boggled my mind was I like getting things right the first time. I don't like being wrong, but I had to realize that that not only is it okay to ask questions, but you're not expected to know everything all the time. Because no one does, first off. And it's sometimes the beauty in you constructing the proper question at the proper time can really shed light on what everybody in the room was thinking. So I found that really figuring out how to ask questions and getting those answers, regardless of whether it comes from yourself or someone out, and really just being able to get the job done is what it's all about, versus like you got to always be the one who does it solo. That's not how engineering works. No. I remember being up to 3 a.m., 5 a.m. trying to do number 7 that was due at 7 a.m. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So I want to get to Tariq's question. He says, is it important for couples to work together in business? Real simple question, but profound answer, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. I absolutely believe it's important. And the reason why I feel like that is because you need that support system. You're not an island. You have to have that teamwork. You have to come together. And you'll be surprised on just the ideas and the creativity that each of you have. I think differently than he does. And so when we come together, it just makes a beautiful thing. And so I love working with him, and I'm glad that he's actually in tech. I don't have to try to come back with other struggles and problems. He knows exactly what I'm dealing with every day. He knows how to help me get through some of this, and I help him as well. So it's just a lot of added benefit when it comes to working together as a couple and being married. So
absolutely.
So I think from my perspective, I agree with everything she said. But I like to take a step back and say it makes sense when you have the right person, right? Because if you don't have the right person and value, you quickly know. There's some people that can't work together because they probably got together for the wrong reasons.
Come on.
And so you can't really build a solid foundation unless you're on the same page. And so that's one thing that we have to look at first and foremost. Like she mentioned, our relationship started by a friendship. We had a legit friendship before we even got married. And so I want people to understand that. So when you talk about starting a business and spending real money and making real investments, and you're not on the same page, and you don't have love and respect in the middle of those decisions, then you're asking for failure, hurt, and just a very painful thing. So make sure you're on the same page with your spouse before you decide to start a business or a company.
Now, I like how you said it started with friendship. Like you said, I mean, me and him had no idea we were even going to date or like each other. She
got lucky.
Wait a minute now. I think it was the other way around.
Hey, look, 2 years. I know who my better half is.
I got lucky. To be clear, yeah.
No, we both got lucky. I think everybody else got lucky too that we got together.
Yeah. Because everybody's getting paid now, so
it is. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. No, but once again, I think just having that foundation of friendship and really seeing how you guys can bring value. Once again, we like to say the word value because that's the most important part. What value are you bringing? What value are you bringing to the friendship, the relationship, the business, everything? Everything revolves around value. So,
right.
Awesome. So we have reached the halfway point of the show. I told you I was going to go by fast. Again, family, for those watching, your brilliant engineer Tariq Cardiac of the STEM Files, the voice of STEM talent in Black culture. We are live right now on Facebook at the STEM Files, also a national network view. We also are live on our YouTube channel, the STEM Files, and make sure to follow us as well on Instagram. I also would like to highlight, speaking of value, our parent company for the STEM Files, which is Original Man Scientific. Original Man Scientific is a Black-owned R&D company with its sole purpose to deliver the advantages of research and development to our communities, focusing on the Black and Brown communities and other marginalized groups. Tariq is our founder as well as Chief Operating Officer, and I serve as the Director of Engineering. Reason why I brought that up, one of the things that we seek to do, going back to collaboration and ownership. So I'm going to paint a picture for you all. When you think about tech companies, not necessarily yours, you think about like the Googles, the Apples, the other major like technology or STEM companies, Bechtel, Johnson & Johnson. Do you ever see them in the quote unquote hood, North Philly, Crenshaw, South Side of Chicago, right? Nice town, Newport News? No. These are in more affluent areas where those of us are not necessarily at. So when we envision Original Man Scientific, what we envision is I'm walking down, I don't know how familiar with Philly you are, but I'm walking down Broad Street. I hit Erie, I can look to my left and see Original Man Scientific, where you could go in and get mentorship, apprenticeship opportunities, access. And that's another thing, access. Our people suffer from a lack of access. We know a lot, but we don't always have access to not only that which we seek, but those who look like us that have that which we seek. So to be able to walk in and say you have an idea, young or old, man, I feel like we could, sweep a floor better. I had this idea in my mind. How about you able to come to a center, be matched up with a mentor, go through the design process, and not only be able to figure it out, but get intellectual property protected and be able to be promoted as well. So that's what the goal and the mission of Original Man Scientific is and how we're moving forward day after day. So you talked about value. We see that this is a very valuable company, and that not only is it Black-owned, but Black-owned R&D on that level is something yet to be done. So we're looking to be front runners in that. One of our flagship programs is OMS Cubed. which is a shipping container program, which we take and do consultations surrounding needs for shipping containers, whether it be office space, lab space, or other things. And then we work with and consult with architects and stuff to be able to get those things built for you. That's one of the things that we do. So that's an awesome thing. I just wanted to highlight that and just tell y'all, thank y'all for what you said, because you're definitely serving as inspiration for what we're trying to do.
That is awesome.
That's amazing stuff. And I already got some ideas. I want to connect you with a couple folks.
Yes.
We're gonna be talking after the show. We're gonna talk after the show. So absolutely. So when I was reading your bio, I saw that y'all are in Africa. And so a quick story, in 2014, it's my junior summer. I had the pleasure of going to Ghana. Greatest experience I've ever had. And I love how you all are in West Africa. Can you talk about why you went there? Sierra Leone, is it? It's Sierra Leone, and it's two other countries.
Yeah, Ghana and Nigeria.
Yes.
So can you talk about the thought process on getting into Africa, why that's important, and why you even chose where you chose?
So I think it's so years ago. Just a quick fast story. Years ago, I have a partner. His name is Hafiz, and we actually started a live streaming company called VoiceCast.com back in 2009. First Black-owned live streaming company, video streaming company. And so we ended up streaming a lot of content from Africa to America, and we learned a lot from that. And he is from Sierra Leone, and so I quickly just really adopted, so much about the culture and just really wanted more. And so as time went, we just figured, hey, we needed to be in West Africa. We needed to be a part of that ecosystem. And so years later, after we learned from that, he's on doing Audio Africa, which is a music app in Africa, which he's killing it on. And so we were able to partner with him, open up some locations in Freetown, Sierra Leone. A great thing where we're able to really educate the community and do some tech training and start to build a foundation. Right. And then you want to tell them about Ghana?
Oh yeah. So we got a chance to visit Ghana last year. We actually were speaking at Agile in Africa. And so we were there. And so we really enjoyed it. We loved it so much. We got a chance to go to the slave dungeon castle. That was a life-changing experience. Oh my goodness. And right before that, we just found out what our background was.
African ancestry.
So we got a chance to see that. So it was just like bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
But to be inside of those, oh my goodness, and to see exactly how we got here and how our ancestors got here, I knew it was a reason why we were there to see that and experience that.
Right.
So, while we were there, we went ahead and set up our other locations there and other company there. And so we was like, okay, we have to put a stake here in Africa. We have to continue to do this. And so, once again, it was such a great experience, and we plan on going back as soon as everything opens back up very soon.
We plan on building a home there.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Just to have a home in the motherland where we can invite our people so that they can see it's comfortable, it's nice, it's beautiful, and it's not what you think it is. It's not. It's not. It's totally the opposite of what you probably think Africa really is. And so
I bear witness. And so people have been trained to think Africa is so quote, and I hate this term. I don't even know what third world is. Like third world country. These same third world countries had a more rapid response to COVID than a so-called first world country. So that's all I got to say on that. So
right. But that's not the proper term should be colonialized countries, right? People, these are countries where the wealth was stolen and the infrastructure was taken and they were taken advantage of. But the people there, the people are the value.
Absolutely.
Along with the natural resources. And so they really desire to partner with the diaspora, to partner with Black Americans. They want us to come back home. They want us to come back and partner with them and solve problems and create new solutions. Right. And so we felt that when we were there, like we had so much love, it was so much peace. And when you go there, you don't even realize you're Black. No. It's a different feeling. You're just a person. You're just a human.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're able to walk around as a human. And so that really inspired us to go ahead and open our sister company there. And, have these partnerships, really create infrastructure. And our overall goal is to create a workforce in West Africa that can hopefully compete with India one day.
And I want you to talk about
Absolutely.
the corporations that are building up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I knew it was all good once I saw Deloitte had built a skyscraper right down the street from our hotel that was owned by an African billionaire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's changing.
And
and it's wide open, like you said. That year of return, guys, they want us to come. One thing, and I would be remiss if I didn't say this. So, Tariq and I are both FOI, the Nation of Islam, and one of the things that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan has talked about when it came to our people in Jim Crow, Reconstruction, slavery, he was talking about like godhood and genius, and how genius is really a level below. If you look at what we've been able to do and accomplish and thrive and invent and innovate, we've always been genius.
First of all, let me say real quick, I was able to visit Egypt. So if you ever get a chance, go to Egypt. Now,
yes, ma'am. Yeah, I have a few friends that have gone and been trying to get me to come too. That's definitely on my bucket list as well.
Right.
So once you go there, that's what we created as black people. That was us.
That's right. Absolutely.
And so just seeing that in itself, I mean, the fact that we was like, tech isn't for us, or, I don't like math. We invented all of this stuff. We invented
right. Right.
That's a whole other topic. But
the
point is, you got to go there and really learn your history. And history does not start with being a slave. That's all.
Right. Go ahead. And then when we talk about, like hashtag Black in STEM, Black is STEM.
Black is STEM.
Exactly.
It is STEM. When you talk about, and I'm going back to, I had a similar experience when I went to the Elmina slave castles in Cape Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very emotional experience, and I talk about this sometimes because I was very irritated because my Ghanaian counterparts, they were taking selfies. They didn't have the same emotive response that I had. And then my teachers, they saw it, said, "Jabril, you need to take a moment." I said, "Yes, I do." And as I overcame emotion, I realized their history that they know, it's our history too. It does not start. Slavery is a small piece of what they know of who they are.
Yeah.
Versus we as the so-called African American, that's a big part of our sojourn, right?
Sure.
So that like looking across that ocean and going through that door of no return and smelling the stench, you can still smell the stench.
You can still
hell,
people there,
right? But then I think about STEM, right? I think about how STEM is a freeing discipline.
It is.
No science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is to be connected, literally to the divine, to the universe, to be connected to everything around you. So you can no longer be somebody's slave. You can only be a captive.
Thank you, sir.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Absolutely. So thank y'all so much. Like I'm thoroughly impressed, enjoying this show. Y'all are bringing so much value. I'm so looking forward to working with y'all in the future. Just continuing on. Family, come on, drop those comments, drop those questions. I know y'all probably taking notes. My bad, y'all taking notes. I'm gonna give y'all a pass on that. So we talk about successful people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You read several books. You find that successful people have typically the same habits.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Give or take a few. Can you speak to some of the daily and weekly type of habitual things you both do to keep yourselves motivated and reaching higher to get to goals that you have yet to reach?
Let's see, where do I start? In my case, I mean, I really enjoy affirmations. I feel like it's very important to really speak positivity, especially over your own life. You know, we don't take in too much negative. We actually don't accept any negativity.
Zero negativity.
You know, I understand negativity is all around, but if you're a negative person, then that just means we can't be in the same space like that. You know, if I'm affecting you, then I definitely can't have you affecting me. And so that's one thing that's important. Also, just making sure that, you know, you have to be a dreamer too. You have to really see what's available. I mean, if you don't go outside of your neighborhood, how will you know what you can attain? You know, and so we like to actually put a lot of, desires out. We look at different things. We're like, okay, let's see what we can attain. And so we like to set goals. And of course, making sure that we have a checklist to scratch off those goals. Of course, we use it in a digital format, but, you know, that's the main thing. How are you able to really measure your success, you have to be able to do it in that way by scratching it off or checking it off. So what do you think?
No, all of those things, being organized as possible. I think that everybody has room for improvement there. But the thing that I think most successful people do is they look in the mirror and they say to themselves, nobody's coming to save you.
Come on.
Yes.
Nobody is coming to save you. So if you want this life, you make it.
That's right.
You make it happen. You make it happen now. And you can't blame anybody for your failures. If you're not getting the things that you want out of life, then it's your fault. And so that's what I constantly do to myself. And I know Jamila does the same thing. Look, nobody's coming to help you. It's not going to happen. I know a lot of times we have ideas and we thinking that our friends are going to hop in because it looks good, and you're thinking that, hey, they're going to support you, they're going to do this stuff. No, it doesn't happen. And we have learned to be a jack of all trades. Things that we probably couldn't do 2 years ago, we can do now.
Oh, yes.
And so you learn as you go. As an entrepreneur, as a person that wants to get things done, you end up wearing a lot of different hats. And it becomes pretty tough sometimes because there are people that specialize in certain things that are kind of our part-time thing, and we know that we have more information, right? And so it's about self-accountability and also being humble.
That's right.
At the same time, and creating that balance.
Humble and hungry. Y'all talked about that. Y'all spoke on no one's coming to save you. Desire feeds the will, right? What one of the things I talk about a lot, if I'm on a panel, I've been on high school, I'm going back to my alma mater, University of Pennsylvania, or George Washington Carver High School of Engineering Science in Philadelphia, and I speak about success. A lot of our children get it messed up because traditionally, right, success is, you go to school, get your raise, listen to your parents, you go to college, you get a job, you become a cog in the system, and you can retire, right? It's no longer the case. You can do those things, get that piece of paper, and almost in your mind think that someone's committed fraud, because it's like you can't find a job. But you told me that this is going to get me an opportunity, right? So I tell them, what is success to you? A lot of times, like, I want to make a lot of money. You can start right there. First off, you can make money with this internet phenomenon. There's so many ways if all you want to do is make money and you don't care, obviously legally, the way you do it. Right? I want to see my family well fed and my bills paid. Okay. I want to do something I love. I want to leave an impact. See, these are things that we have to ask, because going to college a lot of times, and typically sometimes regardless of creed, class, or color, it has debt attached to it, right? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan teach that debt is slavery. So
it is slavery.
And when you have that debt weighing on you, you got people that go to a medical school, got 6-figure debt. That weighs on you day after day after day. So the creative mind becomes to get befuddled and cannot necessarily see that which it could see pre-debt. So I tell people all the time, okay, what do you want to be? I want to be an engineer. Okay, that's a route that needs college at this point. Have you looked into scholarships, right? And you got scholarships for, like, if you got 2 left feet, if you're 6 feet tall, if you're black, if you eat McDonald's 2 days a week. It's all kinds of scholarships out here. So attaching your definition of success to your journey and not letting people get you all messed up. They're like, oh, see, that's impossible. Well, how do they know? They ain't doing it.
Yes.
Or the is, let me see what you do, and then I'll think about it. That way, somebody else's success to validate home. And so, please talk about that.
Yeah. So our people, when they hear about, not all of them, but a lot of them, when they hear the opportunity, somebody, 2 people might come to us. One of them decides to go ahead and do it, right? And the other person is waiting to see if the person that took the class performs all the actions that we told them. Right? So if they don't perform the actions, let's say it takes them 60 days, but the expectation was, hey, I thought it was going to take 30. Well, the other person is making a judgment when they could have went through the course and got a job the first week, because we don't have the same blessings. Everybody has different blessings, and you might have more skill than this other person does. And so, we cannot wait for someone else. We just can't do it. The only way it's going to happen is if we decide to take action ourselves and put ourselves in the best possible position to be free.
That's right.
To be free. I was thinking about how, America's called the free world. But how, again, the minister was talking about how what we really have is license. Freedom is to act in accord with your nature.
Yes.
License is I do what I want, when I want, how I want it, to whom I want, and with whom I want to. But we see where that's gotten us, right? So you mentioned freedom. Freedom is balance.
Yes.
It
right?
is.
Yes.
You look at this universe, right? Going back to the STEM aspect, you have the first law of the universe is what? Motion, followed by order, right? So order is not spontaneous. That's imparted by an outside external force. Otherwise, it'd just be stuff all over the place. So when you look at freedom and license, and you look at literally the entirety of the universe is under some law. Yes. So you, as the scientific mind, have to realize, okay, there's a system to everything. There's a methodology to everything. There's a technology to success.
Yes.
Now, as you all have done, you put people through a system.
Yes.
It's an academy. You come and you're a student, and you get from point A to point B, inshallah, and you are successful by your definition that I'm sure they've given you. Right? Correct. It's just, you don't just slap somebody in a course for Office 365 if they're not interested in Office 365.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, what are you interested in? How can we be of assistance? This is good for you. Let's get it.
I'm so glad you did that, because that's the reason why we have a customized career assessment. So it is based on your personal experience. So we ask you questions. We have it on our website. You get a 30 minutes with us to ask us questions, but we'll be asking you questions. And we have a numbering system that would actually put you in the right career path that is best for you. So a lot of people come to us, they say, oh, I'm interested in, the Google Cloud. I'm interested in AWS. Well, how do you know that you're interested in that? Is it just based off of you saw some money online that, you can make possibly this type of money online? Or is this really the perfect fit for you? Right. So what I said is, I love what you just said. It's definitely important to have that customized career assessment, and that's what we provide. So,
and we make sure people are not jumping into things that they're going to fail in.
Exactly.
Right? Hey, cybersecurity is hot. I want to take a cybersecurity class. Well, do you like to read a lot?
Right. Every day.
Every day. If you do, then cybersecurity is for you, because we have to create the foundation first, and that requires tons and tons of reading. Now, if that's not you, maybe you need more of a hands-on experience with the application. Right. And so we help you kind of understand those differences. And then we also help you relate them to things that you've been doing from a process perspective. Because guess what? No matter what you've been doing, some process you have used is a part of one of the enterprise applications that we actually train on.
That's right.
And you're able to relate, understand, and then you can adopt so much faster.
Absolutely. Oh man, I told y'all this hour is gonna go by. It's 6:54.
Oh my God.
I'm having such a great time. So I have another question in the chat. I think this is my beloved mother, Kimberly Muhammad. She says, how early in life did you all know you wanted to be involved in STEM?
Ooh, that's a great question, Mom. Oh my goodness. Well, for me, I'll go ahead and start with me. Mine was pretty early. My dad actually is an engineer as well. And so I would get all the latest technology gadgets, and, my friends would be like, wow, what is this? And I'm like, wow, I'm showing it off at school, what I got. And I'm thinking everybody has one. They're like, no, this won't come out for another year or two. And so I got really involved in playing video games. I know I don't really look like I'm a gamer, but I'm definitely
Okay. Okay.
I always have been in the games. And so, like I said, this happened for me very young, but I just still didn't know exactly what career path I wanted to go into. I didn't really know I could make this into a career. I just thought it was just fun. And then I was actually raised by my great-grandfather, and at that time, he might have been in his late 90s. And so he was like, you know what? You should try technology. That's one thing that is never going away. It's in everything. So why don't you give it a shot? And I was like, well, okay, see what you're talking about. And next thing I know, that's when I decided to go into school to learn about technology. And here we are today. So I'm really glad that I chose that as a career. So
yeah, and so for me, it's probably, since I've been a kid, I've had that interest in creating, and solving problems. My father was a carpenter. My mom was a corporate executive, and so it was just like this real different combination from a parent perspective. And so just to get the hands-on experience from my father, get that exposure from my mother from a corporate perspective, it really just opened my eyes to all of the opportunities. And so I started off kind of working with my hands in logistics, but I was always motivated to solve a problem. So my first startup was Sportvise.com, which was the first Black-owned social network for athletes.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was my very first startup, because I felt like, I came from a small town. I felt like I wasn't recruited properly to play sports. And I felt like a lot of people were in my position. They didn't have the proper infrastructure to support them. And so, that was my first startup, and I learned a lot, but I learned that I could solve some problems, right? And that just really inspired me. And then, I went on to do VoiceCast and a couple more startups. Mm-hmm. But then it was about when I met Jamila, she really exposed me to all of the cloud opportunities. And so, of course, I had to just hop in, and get fully engaged. And, it was great for me. And because of my own experience is why we created Cloud Tech Academy.
That's right.
Because I saw that, if I could transition from one place to another and get this new mindset, get the opportunity, make the money, then we needed to share this with our people and create a system that will help them transition from other fields, other backgrounds, and go and win and have, because the opportunities are endless.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. I literally almost let the whole show go by without having you all talk about your other brands. So in these last several minutes, I'm going to have you guys talk about the Power of Technology Tour and the God, Tech, and Hustle podcast. Then we're going to do a little speed round to get to know you a little bit more, and then we're going to close out. Sound good?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the tour and the podcast. So let's know a little bit about what's up with that.
Okay, so we actually started Power Technology Tour because the main reason is people say they don't see enough people that look like them. And so we wanted to have a platform that we bring out more Black professionals that are in different types of industries in tech, and just wanted them to see, hey, there's somebody that looks like you. So we created that. I wanted to, we created a Women in Tech panel. So I actually host that. He hosts a Men in Tech panel. We also have a community panel, and we have a leadership panel. So we do that. We go around to different cities. And actually, we plan on having one coming up soon. I want to say in the next couple of months. So stay on the lookout for that.
Okay.
PowerTechTour.com is where you can find that information. All right. And so
absolutely. Yeah. And so
God, Tech, and Hustle.
Yes, God, Tech, and Hustle. God, Tech, and Hustle is our way to share the gems to our people. Right. Because we take in so much information, we're constantly rocking and rolling, but we want to share some information. We want to give out as much game as possible, hopefully to inspire, help, and transform someone, right? And so we want to give people the tools, and we want them to understand that, we're very open to sharing information that can potentially change everything in your whole life, because it was changed in our lives. And, me personally, I've had the experience to be around a couple Black billionaires. Life-changing, right? You can see these people, but they were just like me, right? They just had a different will. And so what I want people to understand is, if they proactively get focused on whatever the goal is, apply your will to it, then you can get the balance you're looking for. You can get the freedom you're looking for, the license to be happy, the license to be comfortable, and and also compete.
That's right.
Absolutely. Oh my God! Thank y'all so much. We have reached the end. We want to do what we call the STEM file speed round. I'm going to ask you a bunch of quick questions. We normally kind of go into them a little bit afterwards, but I just want to see what your answers are as quickly as possible. So, all right, y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. Hot or cold?
Hot.
You don't have to have the same answer either. Okay.
Hot, very hot.
Walking or jogging?
Jogging.
Walking for me.
Baked or grilled?
Grilled.
Grills.
Favorite hobby?
Loving my wife.
Oh.
Hey, see, you know he's been married for a minute. He's been married for a minute. My man giving real game.
Listen, I can show you.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. How about you, sis?
Receiving his love and giving more love to him. So.
Oh, I love that. Look at that. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is something for you, Jamila.
Mm-hmm.
First-person shooter or massive multiplayer?
I gotta go with the massive multiplayer.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sci-fi or horror films?
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi for sure.
It's the best. It's the best genre. It's the best genre. It's the best. My wife is a big horror fan. I can dig it, but like I guess she's more old school. The newer horror is kind of corny. I never was a horror guy, but it's not like the Star Wars, even the Marvels, the sci-fi. It has everything. It has everything.
Please watch The Expanse.
I might have seen. I gotta watch. I don't know if I've seen that one. Okay.
Yeah.
The Expanse. First thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Pray.
Definitely pray. I was about to say, open my eyes and pray.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Community volunteerism or technical research?
Volunteerism.
Technical research.
I'll ask why for this question, and you can give a brief answer.
Well, I'll say volunteerism because, I mean, once again, it's just something about the joy of helping others and seeing what we can do to give back. It's not just about us receiving money. I mean, we actually do have our nonprofit of giving back, and so
right.
It's definitely a passion for me.
Right, and so I'm always researching solutions to solve problems, and so not that I don't support that because we do have our own foundation, right? So, but it's about making sure we have enough information to really be able to help our people instead of just kind of spinning in the wind. You know, so I want to have a plan for success, not just service.
That's good.
Right. It's sharpening the sword and using the sword.
Right.
You're focused on how can I get the sword so sharp that I can cut through anything. And sis like, man, I need to use the sword though. Is the sword ready? Is the sword ready? Right. Absolutely. Okay. Second to last question. You're stuck on an island by yourselves, nothing, and you have a choice of 3 albums, and only 3 that you can have with you to listen to. What are they?
Oh boy. I gotta go with Lauryn Hill for one of them.
You the second person that said that over the last 2 shows. Okay. Classic.
I already know you're gonna say.
You said 3, right? You're gonna have 3.
No.
Okay.
You get one, I get another.
So does the Beyonce box set count?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Then I can get all of it in one. Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That's a little,
Yeah, you get a little jiggy with that. You know what I
mean? Okay.
And then I guess I gotta go with. Oh, they're gonna laugh at me. I gotta go with the baby on the last one.
You know what's so crazy? It's so crazy. Like I wanted, like just on principle, I wanted to not like the baby, but I don't give a damn. Nobody say the baby's tough.
Yeah,
the baby is tough. Like you add a little more substance to what he's saying. Like he can rap.
Yeah.
Yes, he's different.
He can rap, and it's like I got okay. The baby, okay.
On the island, so.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So with that, family, with that, we have reached the end of the show.
Okay.
All right. It's a brilliant engineer, typically joined by Tariq Cardiac. It's been a blessing to have the wonderful power couple and tech entrepreneurs, Cameron and Jamila Hairston. Last thing we want to do is how can our audience get in touch with you if they have any questions or want to know how they can work with you?
So I'll say this, definitely go to our website, www.cloudtechacademy.com, and you'll see at the very top where it says schedule a free 30-minute consultation. And so we can talk about anything you want around technology, any questions you have. If you want some guidance on the next steps for you, we're here to help you with that.
Absolutely.
And of course, we're on all social media, Cloud Tech Academy, so you'll be able to find us.
Absolutely.
All right. And I've taken the liberty to put that in there. I hope that's all correct. I took a lot of time making sure all of it was good to go.
Oh yeah.
All right, family. All right. Awesome. So with that, if you had to leave the audience with one more gem, what would it be as we close out?
For me, take action.
In mine, I'll have to say, take is for you.
Take action and take it for you. I love it. Well, all right, family. Again, this has been the STEM Files, where we highlight the best and brightest in science and technology, engineering, and mathematics as the voice of STEM talent in Black culture. I am your humble co-host, Brilliant Engineer, typically joined by Tariq Cardiac. Until next time, family, love, peace, and hair grease, as my mother used to say growing up. We are out. Love y'all, family.
All right. Love you too.
Love
Peace.
y'all.